This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Good evening, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for April 15, 2023. And in the news this evening, 79-year-old man chops and kills a 72-year-old wife in Bogwalk. A 79-year-old man chopped and killed his 72-year-old wife during a dispute in Bogwalk, St. Catherine on Saturday morning. The deceased has been identified as Yvette MacDonald, a 72-year-old retired nurse of Azar Lane in Bogwalk. It is understood that the incident occurred about 2 a.m. at the couple's home. Head of the St. Catherine North Police Superintendent Howard Chambers confirmed the incident when contacted by the news, but could not immediately provide further details. Millions stolen in Old Harbour gas station robbery. 4 men held up an octogenarian and pulled off a multi-million-dollar robbery of a gas station in gutters in Old Harbour, St. Catherine on Saturday morning. Reports are that about 5:30 a.m., an 80-year-old cleaning lady opened up the office at the Bud's gas station when men forced their way inside the building. They then robbed the establishment at gunpoint and escaped in a waiting motor car. The woman is a cleaner. She was opening up the gas station, and they pounced on her and made off with a large undetermined sum of money. We are investigating, Christopher Phillips, a commanding officer of the St. Catherine South Division, said. There are confirmed rumors that over $24 million was stolen. $1 million theft from MoneyGram office in Santa Cruz. Thieves broke into a MoneyGram office in Santa Cruz, St. Elizabeth Saturday morning and made off with $1 million. The proprietor reported detecting strange sounds via closed-circuit television cameras about 2:45 and called the police. A patrol team went to the location on Coke Drive, where 2 holes were seen in a wall leading to the MoneyGram office. A check was conducted, and it was discovered that the money had been stolen. Murder suspect among 6 arrested in Manchester. Police are reporting that 6 men, including a murder suspect, were arrested in separate early morning operations in northeast Manchester on Saturday. A police source told the news that about 3:05 a.m., 5 men were arrested after a roadblock was mounted on the Devon Main Road where a Toyota Probox motor car was intercepted. 6 men were aboard the car. 1 eluded the police, but the other 5 were held and found with housebreaking implements, including a crowbar, cash, cigarettes, liquor, and parts from poker boxes. Further investigation led the police to an area where 2 poker boxes were recovered, said the source. Police suspect that the men were involved in burglaries targeting bars and houses in Manchester. The men are said to be from Leeds in St. Elizabeth, Georges Valley, Greenvale, and Colleyville in Manchester. In a second operation hours later in Shudley, a suspect was arrested in relation to the April 10 murder of Anthony Williams, 51, a farmer and a resident of Shudley housing scheme. A police report said about 11:30 p.m., Williams was walking home in the scheme when he was pounced on by gunmen who opened fire, hitting him. Mentally challenged man stabbed to death in Portland. A man who is said to be of unsound mind became Portland's 4th murder victim for the year when he was stabbed and killed Saturday morning along West Street in Port Antonio, Portland. The deceased has been identified as Lee Donald of a Long Bay address in East Portland. Investigators said Donald was killed sometime before 6 a.m. on the corridor of a closed door on West Street. He was found lying on his back with what appeared to be stab wounds. During last month's opening of a meal ward at the Portland Infirmary, Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Desmond McKenzie highlighted that homelessness is one of the main issues currently being faced in the parish. McKenzie added that money to build a facility for the homeless is in the budget of the local government ministry, but he is waiting on the mayor of Port Antonio to identify the land on which to build. One of the challenges that Portland faces right now is the question of the homeless population. The survey shows us that there is an increase. Quite recently, we have had some tragic incidents in the town of Port Antonio. Mayor, councillors, MP, there is money in the Ministry of Local Government to build a drop-in facility for the homeless population in Portland, but we are waiting on you to identify the land for us to start construction. We have the money in the ministry, he assured. We need to find the location to build a facility to prevent any further abuse of the homeless population in the parish of Portland. This is something that we are very passionate about because in almost all parishes, the government is moving to provide facilities for the homeless population. Portland Mayor, get up, walk go look the land in Portland that can be used to build a facility for the homeless population, he charged. I want to appeal to the private sector in Portland to come on board as we have an obligation to care for these people, and we should have no stone unturned in providing for these people, Mackenzie said. 2 dead, 9 wounded in shootings across St. Catharines South Police Division. 2 people were shot and killed while 9 others are suffering from gunshot wounds during separate incidents across the St. Catharines South Police Division on Friday as the area experiences an upsurge in violence. It was pretty active across the division yesterday, and the scene of crime investigators were racing from crime scene to crime scene. It was one of those nights, Christopher Phillips, a commanding officer of the St. Catharines South Police Division, told the news. The 2 individuals killed were gunned down in the communities of Gregory Park and 3 East in Greater Portmore. One of the murders involved a 32-year-old shopkeeper, O'Shane Morrison, of a Watson Grove address. Morrison was at his stall when he was pounced upon by unknown assailants at about 8 p.m. The gunmen reportedly pulled up in a car, 1 man alighted and shot Morrison. The other murder involved a 36-year-old Lloyd Eglinton, a driver of 3 East in Greater Portmore, who was standing on the roadway about 10 p.m. when he was shot and killed by unknown assailants. Gunmen killed patron at a karaoke in Clarendon. Patrons at a karaoke in Denby, Clarendon, had to scamper for cover Friday night after gunmen opened fire at the event. At the end of the shooting, 1 man was shot and killed. The dead man has been identified as 30-year-old Rogel Edwards from the community. It was reported that around 11:30 p.m., Edwards and several other patrons were at the karaoke, which was being held at Douglas Drive in Racetrack, Denby. Police reported that he was pounced upon by men armed with handguns who opened fire, hitting him several times to the head and upper body, killing him on the spot. The police were called and found Edward lying face down along a dirt road in a pool of blood with multiple gunshot wounds. The scene was processed and the 7 9mm spent casings found. He was taken to the Maypen Hospital where he was pronounced dead and later transported to the morgue. No motive has been established for the attack. 9mm recovered between blocks in Kingston 13. 1 9mm Glock 17 pistol with a magazine containing 10 rounds of ammunition was seized by the police on Fitzgerald Avenue, Kingston 13, early Saturday morning. Reports from the Hunts Bay police are that about 1:10 a.m., a team was on mobile patrol in the area when a man was seen standing in the dark. Upon seeing the service vehicle, the man reportedly jumped over a wall and into a yard. The police entered the premises where they apprehended the man and conducted a search of the area as well as his person. During the search, the firearm and ammunition was found hidden between 2 blocks. The man was taken into custody. However, his identity is being withheld pending further investigation. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.